Okay, now that we've gone through Canvas, this is just one slide over here just to explain to you again really quick, what you're going to see there. You're going to see my syllabus. You're going to see all the PowerPoint presentations on there, print it if you want to. I showed you all the pre-recorded videos and how to go about watching with the two different digital devices, or split your screen if you have to, and have your notebook there. All those review questions that I highly, highly recommend for you to do. Remember, 25% of my exams have those on there. Any announcements, all my emails, check it often. All the lab material, if you lost any of the lab reports, are on there. Make sure you do the Mastering Biology. I would expect you to do it sometime in the first week to register, because the homework assignments are going to be all from there. And if your semester has any online quizzes or exams, I showed you where you're going to find it. And lastly, as I told you before, Canvas mail or the inbox is the only place to get in touch with me. You go to any place else, you send it to massasoit.edu, my email over there, it's going to get lost with all the other college stuff that people give me. And to tell you the truth, I think you're more important than I'm getting about a meeting or something like that. All right. So I think because I want to be the person for you. So anything from me, anything from you, the place we're going to go is at Canvas. The course objectives, you could read that on your own for the lecture and the laboratory, around page 6 or so. Okay. So now around page 7, I just want to mention some highlights about the course schedule. Now I'm making this video for any kind of semester, so I do want to mention that if there's any holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving break, or if we have holidays or holiday breaks like Thanksgiving break or President's Day, if you have any of those things, I will always make it that there will be no exam on that day, and there will be no class assignment that's due on that day. Okay. Some due dates, however, might be on a Saturday or Sunday. And I know that the college could be closed on Sunday, but I'm talking about a holiday per se. Some due dates may be extended to the next day after the holiday, because I don't want to have it due on a holiday itself. You will see on page 7 and 8, around there, you're going to see a wonderful, colorful course schedule. Okay. You'll also see the word course schedule, and I will note if there's any kind of online exam that you have to do, it will be on there, so you can see the times of them and and what exam it is and what days. All right. When you go to the colorful page, you can't miss it. Trust me. There's basically our whole course. You will note that everything in red, at least the dates in red, are the days that you need to be here on campus in person. So I kind of highlighted that for you. Okay. I also highlighted things in blue, the days, if there's any online exam, those are the days that you would be doing those exams. Okay. And you'll also note that the what we're going to cover at least that week when we're dealing with lecture. You'll also see for the laboratory schedule when the quizzes are and what lab activity we're going to do for that day. Okay, so it's all there in a nutshell on one page. Okay. So on campus, and just to reiterate, on campus, okay. So on campus, meaning face-to-face, F2F, I can say that, think about it when I say it, or in person, these, like I said, they're noted, the days are noted in red on the syllabus schedule, okay? All lab exercises and lab testing occur on these days that would be in red, okay? Anything that would be virtual or by Zoom, like I said, the days themselves will be in blue, and it'll be most likely certain exam days will be for that, okay? They are proctored by me, and we're going to use a Zoom session. I'll send you an invitation for that, okay? The only exception we have, and I'll talk more about it later, is a bonus quiz where you're going to have usually a few days to do it, and it's not proctored, and you can do it any time during that time, okay? I'll give you a certain time frame. All right, just want to give you, so we're on page 9 or so. Lecture versus lab components. Basically, the lecture is worth 75% and lab is worth 25%. And this is the numerical grade equivalence that Massasoit Community Colleges uses. So that's where that comes in. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about mastering biology, what you're going to find in there, when to do the homework, what is this homework, and so forth. Okay. Again, you are not going to go to masteringbiology.com. I only put this here if you have questions, technical questions, you go over here, okay? But there are 10 homework assignments. There are 25 multiple choice questions per chapter. There is one exception. Well, homework number 8 has 45 questions, but I'm combining 3 chapters at that one time. I need you to register today. Instructions, I showed you where that was in the syllabus folder. And I showed you how to get into that. You go into Canvas, then you're going to click on the left side, My Lab and Mastering, okay? Select My Lab and Mastering and go into there, create your account. I showed you very briefly about that. And that's where you're going to either purchase a access code if you haven't already, or put in the access code that you purchased from the bookstore earlier than today, okay? Again, you're not going to be asked a course code or course ID if you do it this way. If you go outside and go to this website and try to register, it will ask you for a course code. Bottom line is, don't ask me for a course code because I don't have one, okay? Just select Go to My Course and you'll go right into that, okay? Once you register, you can start the homeworks right away, okay? There's no time limit to this. Homeworks relating to each lecture exam must be completed by 8 o'clock the night before the exam. Meaning, if the lecture exam number 1 occurs on Monday, all right, the 25th of September, that all 4 homeworks that is related to that exam, all 4 of them must be submitted the night before, and I'm sorry, that's a typo over here. It should be the 24th of September by 8 o'clock, okay? So that's when it's due. It's 100 questions because it's 25 questions each, and there's 4 of these homeworks that are going to be related to lecture exam number 1, okay? So refer to the syllabus as to what homeworks correlate to what exams. You will see that on page 11 or so, okay? You'll just see this little chart, so to say, the number of questions and what ones relate to which lecture exam, okay? I do have to tell you, don't think that 25 questions means 25 minutes to do it, because there are things that you have to watch certain videos, some of it's interactive, you may have to read an article and so forth. So I would not wait till the last minute to do these things, okay? 8 o'clock, if you try to do it after 8 o'clock, you can, but you won't get any credit, no partial credit for late assignments, okay? So the point distribution, the way I do this is that 25% of your final grade is this, all right? There's 270 questions in the, when I put it all together, there's 270 questions, okay? The first 250 points count toward your cumulative grade. The remaining 20 points of the 270, then that would be bonus, okay? If you miss the due date, like I said, a 0 be counted for that homework. No exceptions. I'm not going to track you down. You're not going to track me down. I'm not going to, you've had 4 weeks to do it or whatever. That's it. You just got to plan better then. Don't use the smartphones or tablets on this. You can only use your laptops, desktops, or Chromebooks. And again, only use Firefox or Google Chrome. All right, then we have lab experiments and lab reports. There is 10 lab experiments, and there will be 10 correlated lab reports to do, okay? The point distribution, there's 10 points for each lab report. Points for all 10 lab reports are 100 points, right? 10 times 10. That'll be 10% of your final grade, okay? Lab days, okay? They occur on, well, if it happens on Thursday, your whatever day it is, Thursdays, Tuesday, they will happen live. These lab days will happen live. Pre-read the lab exercise before the lab day. You're going to work in groups of 2 or 3, hopefully in 3. The more the merrier, right? Each student submits their own lab report. But you can. I have no problems. I mean, scientists do this too. They collaborate with other scientists. You can collaborate with your lab partners, and you may disagree. That's okay. I have no problems. Maybe he's correct, or maybe he's wrong and I'm correct. I'm still going to put down my answer. Okay. Create your own logical conclusions. I've been finding students want to copy exactly what their partner does. Be mindful. I see what's going on there, but if that person gets it wrong, you're going to get it wrong too. And I see a lot of people getting things wrong, and it's like, guys got to learn. Don't think for yourselves. You're going to collaborate, and maybe put whatever that person said on the back burner. Should I use that information or not? But you got to think for yourself. Okay, come up with your own logical conclusions. The lab reports are due the next lab day. Okay, whether it's 1 week later or 3 days later, it's due the next time we have lab. If you don't have it, there's no late submissions. You just bring it in the next day. Now, I have a way that that you will bring it in, and I'll show you why. So I'll be looking for on these lab is completeness, logical conclusions, with your own critical thinking, and neatness. Okay, it's got to be legible. So my suggestion is to use pencil. Don't use pen. If you use pen, a lot of people are scribbling, and I can't make out where's your answer. All right, so or if it's like that, then you could reprint out the lab report and make it cleaner for me. All right, so I can see it. One lab will take longer than usual. It's on microscopy. It's lab number 5. So we're going to do it in 2 parts over 2 sessions. If this is a full 15-week semester, then yeah, it'll be over 2 weeks. If it's a 7-week semester, then it might be in just 1 week or so. But it'll be 2 sessions. There's too much to do. If you're absent on a lab day, you miss a lab. So you get a 0 for the lab report. You can't get any credit for a lab report that you weren't there for the lab. Just think about it, right? You can't copy. That's that other person's work. So there's no makeups, no exceptions, because I can't set up another lab. One, I can't get another room available that's going to be conducive for you and I don't know where I'm going to get all the chemicals and stuff just for you. So if you miss it, you miss it, okay? No makeups, no exceptions. You are responsible for the lab concept, so do speak to your lab partner and understand what was actually accomplished. There's some reading on the lab reports that is going to help you also. So do make sure that you understand what was the significance of that lab activity. So that lab exercise knowledge is still going to be assessed on its own lab quiz and lab exam. Okay, so you're still responsible for that material to know. So lab exams, oh, this is wrong. This is totally wrong. Lab exams, there's only 1 lab exam. I'm sorry, this is a wrong slide. There's only 1 lab exam, and that's it. Okay, it's going to be a practical exam. And I'll tell you more about it later on, but a practical exam is you're going to go station to station. It's an interesting thing. It's towards the end of the semester. I'll explain it later. It's explained in the syllabus too. But yeah, we'll get into that. But, oh, and this is, I'm sorry, this is lecture exams. I'm not even reading this right. So lecture exams, there are 4 component exams. Okay, 100 points each. It could be anywhere from 55 to 65 questions, whether an exam that's live on paper or an online exam. They're about the same. I will only count 3 of the 4 best exam grades. So in other words, I dropped the lowest one. So there is no makeups because that'll be the one that you drop, right? If you weren't there for one. There is one comprehensive final exam. It'll be 100 questions on that. That can't be dropped at all. I do have something called a bonus quiz. Okay, so now we're on page 12 or so. I only do this bonus quiz if we do 2 or more online lecture exams in the semester. Okay, the reason why is, don't worry about the quest, okay, but the reason why is that the way Canvas is set up, I can't put bonuses on each one of the exams. It just, the format, it just doesn't happen. So, so because of that, I got to, on all the written exams, there's bonuses because it's on paper. I give you bonuses. But when we're dealing with online, it just doesn't set up. So I set up a separate bonus quiz, okay? And if we have 2 or more online lecture exams, then you're going to be suffering because you didn't get all the bonuses because it was you only took the online exams and there was no bonuses. And I believe you should have bonuses on there. They aren't harder, they're not easier than the rest of the stuff. It's just more questions. Okay, so what it is that it's going to be 30 questions, 35 minutes. Okay, that you'll do it. You'll have 3 to 5 days to actually do it, but you can only do it in one sitting. So once you hit begin, the clock starts and there is no pausing. Okay, it occurs around a few days before the final lecture exam. So treat it like a mini lecture exam. It's comprehensive. It's questions that you should be able to handle for a final exam. Okay, so that's what that is. So if you claim all 30 points, all 30 questions are correct, this could actually make your total course grade 3%. That's a lot. 3% is a lot. And that can make a difference from a B to a B plus and so forth. That's a lot of points right there. This can't hurt your grade in any way. All right. So if you start off with a 72 and you don't do this, well, it's still going to be a 72. Okay. It could only help it. All right. It's also a good opportunity just before a final exam where you know your strengths and weaknesses. Okay. And if you missed this bonus quiz, because I've given you 3 to 5 days, if you just missed it, well, there's no makeup for that. Okay. No exceptions.